Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I feel like that's great for Rubik too, if he could stay alive.
It's a lot more difficult, I think, because Slada's a lot more mobile.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I also think it sets up for like a potential TA pick or something from Blaze. And then they look at taking that first rotation for themselves, playing the tempo game again.
5 seconds.
But I think the Slada with the Corrosive Haze against the Living Armor is really important. Because it kind of offsets that Living Armor global potential to keep people alive. So I would be looking at this on Aster Ace thinking, okay, well, TA is a possibility here, so what... We need to think carefully about what mid-hero we go for.
Do you just take the TA yourself?
I think they're probably going to pick their offlane.
Mm-hmm.
And I would look at something potentially like Legion, I think. So you have the Purge. I would look at something like Omni Knight as well, which we've seen so far this tournament. Because you know they're going to be picking physical damage. Like, they could even go for something like PA as well. Which I don't think would be awful. I think this is a really tough pick. Because there's so many things you have to think about.
Yeah.
They could go something like Sand King as well, I think is okay. Tide Hunter potentially could be okay. I think Darkseer could be okay.
Radiant team pick.
Ooh.
Interesting.
It's okay, unless he doesn't ever get his stacks up, and then I think he just absolutely melts to the Slada. It does limit the heroes they can play in their safe lane though, and the Timber can swap between off lane and mid, depending on the matchup. Assuming they can both play it, I don't know, but that's interesting. It could also mean that if the Timbersaw gets ahead in the off lane, the Rubik can just leave him and go and protect the Spectre. Because the Chikiro can't really bully the Timbersaw when he gets to level 3. Depending on what they pick here, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Radiant team back.
I think something like Ursa would be good. Oh! Okay. I was looking at hero list. I don't know when that got picked. That's... interesting. So again, it gives them really roche. It's probably going to go Medallion on Visage, right? So they still have the minus armor stacking. Works well with the Familiars, but I feel like Visage against Timber's not amazing. I guess it gives them the raw magic damage, which is nice. You know what? New hero. I'll get behind it. Game 3. That's.
I'm always down for game 3. You know it.
Like I would look at this lineup on Blaze. And if I didn't see the other team's lineup, I'd be like, yeah, this looks really strong. Or if I didn't watch game 1. But I think this Timbersaw makes the draft really interesting. Because they can kill the Timbersaw, but if he gets his stacks up before the fight, it gets really difficult. And again, I don't know how they push buildings at the moment on Blaze.
Yeah.
And they're playing against a tree.
Radiant team pick.
I love how they banned the TA as well. I think that's really important. What about Death Prophet here? That sounds fun.
Have we seen Death Prophet yet this fin?
I think we've seen it once. I might be wrong with that. Or Dragon Knight could be fun here as well, potentially.
Ooh, Faceless Void. This lineup feels really strong from Blaze.
It's good. It's good. I don't know why I'm umming and ahhing. Their lineup's good.
Well, I think it's fair to and ah when you saw game 1.
But it's again. I think this tree hero is so important this game, because whoever he chronos globally, especially in the early stages, can just get living armored, and the kill becomes so much more difficult. And I think the Overgrowth is really good at stopping the Void from using his Time Walk. They could kind of do with a little bit more catch now on this Aries side, I think. But I also think they could do with a little bit more damage as well. Otherwise, I think they have damage issues. Oh, God, of course.
But we've seen Brood picks get
flammed. They picked this against who was the team they just played as well? FTD in game 2, I want to say. Yeah, and this was the 69-minute game that they won with Brood. But yeah, like you were saying, this
69-minute game with Brood. Wow, I'm surprised because usually Brood is someone who wants to finish the game immediately.
Yeah, that game was an absolute mess. It was pretty horrendous. I mean, anybody could have won in that 70-minute mark. It was crazy. Yeah, they love this hero, and it's a really good Brood game.
Yeah, who deals with this Brood?
Have they? Oh, they've put the tiny mid. Yeah, okay. They've got a Brood hero in the tiny, so the lane's not going to be like so massively one-sided. But I think the Broodmother's going to come online so quickly. I think the Broodmother covers like the early stages of the game where they can be really strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to hit a timing where they can play around the Spectre Haunt where the Broodmother's really strong and the Timber's really strong. But then as the game goes on, they don't fall off because they have this Spectre. So I think I would still rather go for Aries lineup, but I don't think it's massively one-sided either way. I think it's Visage position 4, by the way, because the tiny's the mid.
Yeah, I believe so. Do believe you
Unless it was Visage
correct.
5 and Shakiro 4, I didn't see. But
well, Kaz was the Witch Doctor last game.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, so it's Shakiro 5, and they put in the tiny mid. I don't mind this. This isn't as good as it used to be because you have the tree grab charges now, so you can't constantly smash the spiders whenever you like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the all chatting again. Nice.
Always a fan.
I don't think we've seen any other Chinese teams pick this Brood in this competition. But they seem to really believe in this.
Seconds to battle.
We'll see how this lane goes. Like, does Tiny get away with this, or like, is it still a difficult lane?
I think Tiny does fine here because the Broodmother can't really ever go on him, or the Tiny just kills the spiders with all his AOE damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the tree grab; it's the avalanche and the toss as well. So. So you got to be really careful with your spider usage on the Brood. Make sure you split them up. Make sure they're just in the jungle all the time farming. Don't give them the Tiny all the CS in the mid lane. Because otherwise we might see some record Tiny CS numbers. And they're all like 4 gold each or whatever it is. Something ridiculous.
Record Tiny CS.
Do you think Brood should be punished harder for letting your spiders die?
How so? More gold?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's a difficult question to answer.
I think it's hard because of the amount. So you need to think of how, like, should the gold given up scale?
Yeah, I think that would be an okay way of doing it. They get an extra gold at each level.
Yeah. Because then technically you're giving up more gold. Because you're giving up more spiderlings at higher levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's not bad. It's certainly not the worst thing. But then I don't know if spiderlings should be so weak.
I bet
they're not
win
weak,
rate in pubs
but...
would plummet after that.
Would they, though? Giving up gold?
Yeah. In low MMR. Actually, no, because it's all Smurfs in low MMR. Never mind.
Yeah, so it would just destroy.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Is that like the first hint? Somebody's picking a Smurf?
Well, they picked Broodmother. No, I know Broodmother players. Those nasty people that aren't Smurfs.
So,
see, look, he just throws the tree at them and they all die.
well, to be fair, it's only level 2, so it's only like a couple of them.
You need that really smart micro where you have like them all you have them different control groups. You just like you'll send them in different directions all at once.
Or somehow have it where your keybind is inverting the spiderlings to go in the opposite directions.
He's doing
like,
really
a
well
spot,
mid already.
You know what I mean? Avalanche doesn't kill the spiderlings.
And that was with the tree throw as well. Does he have a ring of protection on the tiny? No, he went Wraithband instead. Right, okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. You want the armor against the spiders.
Well, so how does this work for the Brood? Are you going, you know, we're going to see Soul Ring, what is queued up right now. But is it like Soul Ring Diffusal Ags or Soul Ring Ags? Like, with boots?
I think do you get diffuse with this game? I guess you probably do. I'm not really a Brood player, I'll be honest. He might want to go like Midas or something. No, he's not going to. Maybe go like Axe or something first. I think the Diffusal's really strong here because all the Radiant Cores need their mana like really badly. Void and stuff especially, right?
Yeah. Still 0-0, but we saw this in the first game, you know, a slower first blood. Then it felt like things kind of popped off towards the mid-game.
I haven't really looked at the side lanes at all yet. I've been too interested in this mid lane.
Dual Breath on Nariko, he's in some trouble. Dual Breath again in 2 seconds, but Jakiro not going to take the chance. At least not at this moment taking the chance.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I thought this Tiny might start running at the Brood in his jungle, but it's so awkward, especially when they have the ward down on the Dire side. Like, they're going to see him coming.
Has that Soul Ring, and I believe more coming out. Oh no, just the clarity.
Yeah, basically, Brood's going to jungle until his tower's under threat.
Yeah.
And then he's just going to go and defend the tower.
But is your tower really under threat when it's a tiny?
Yes. Even so, and now Rico's actually just gone mid because okay, so this is really smart. So basically, this is what I mean. The Timber gets level 3, they don't need to help him anymore because there's nothing they can do down here on the Radiant side now. Really, I mean they can try and bully him out and whatnot, but he's so difficult to kill. So the Rubik's just going to go and take the mid XP to get to level 6, and Brood's just going to jungle.
Dire are scanning. Dire's middle tower.
A Brood that should be able to hold the early mid game for the Spectre, I'd say, right? But Tiny's actually ahead by 300 net worth.
There's still this bounty rune, by the way. I mean, the Rubik's going to go and get it now, but
Tower is under attack. That should help.
oh, maybe the tower's not under threat because they have living armor. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you could just leave this lane and give your Rubik free experience. He gets to a quicker 6, and I think you're in a very good spot if you're the Rubik. Now that leaves the Timber alone, but Timber is one of those heroes that, you know, not only benefits from being alone, but can be alone.
Dire's
Ooh, nice
turret
courier
has been
kill.
killed.
Yeah,
Timber
take
just
his
starts
boots
playing
away.
behind the tower. I think they're just going to start being a lot more efficient on the
Radiant's
Aries
middle
side.
tower is under attack.
And I don't know how Blaze are going to deal with that. Yes, the Void's getting farm in the bot lane, which is nice. But they're getting more on the Dire side because the Rubik's getting the XP mid.
Yeah. This feels like it's going really well for the Brood. Going Diffusal already has a singular Blade of Alacrity. Like, it's a good spot to be in if you're the Brood.
I still think the Tiny's doing okay though.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. But is the Tiny doing okay good enough to take over or hold on to where Spectre's doing just as well?
Well, I'm really interested to see what kind of build he goes.
Slither Crush, Bash, Nature's Grasp down, so that'll slow down Beyond, but I don't know if it'll matter. God, the Soul Assumption does so much damage.
I hate laning against Visage. Feels awful. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what build Tiny goes for. If he goes for like this Blink Echo Saber build or whatever, or if he goes for like drums into S and Y, or it depends how much like damage he wants to do effectively. When I say damage, I mean like magic damage versus sustained physical damage in a fight.
Look at this stack for the Brood. Interesting stack.
Ooh. So basically, what I want to see this game from the Tiny is like drums, Echo Saber, Ags. Okay? Because then, what's going to happen is, when they use Chrono, he can use the tree volley to just throw them in. Like, throw the trees in. Spectre.
Spectre in trouble, Soul Assumption, 3 heroes top, first blood for Beyond. And so the haste coming in from the Tiny, so not really much side of Aster Aries can do in that situation. They give up the Spectre's life, but like that stack, that ancient stack's big there for the Broodmother. Now gets ahead of the Tiny. Rico's now level 6 compared to the supports on Blaze, like very far ahead.
I like this TP though. You don't push towers that well on the Radiant side, so you want to defend your towers here.
Yeah.
You don't want to give away tier 1s for free. Oh, the Rubik with the tree throw. Ugh, get him. Yeah, I wonder what this Brood does when he gets Diffusal, though. He needs to kill the dragon. So, yeah, so the spider stopped taking damage. Nice, there you go. Now we can clear through the stack.
Dagger over mid, Broodmother. Diffusal on the way.
But then it's really awkward to rotate as the Broodmother. It's not as easy as the Tiny, right? Oh, he's going drums Echo Saber. I really hope he goes Ags. But, okay, so the Ags build with the Void Spirit, with the Void on your team as well, is something we saw at TI 8, was it? I think when Tiny Void was really popular. It was the first time that OG won TI, I'm pretty sure. And because this was when Topson was playing Tiny mid all the time.
It was definitely an interesting build when they used to do that too.
I think it's so strong though, as like a combination of spells. That tree, like the tree volley, whatever it's called, I can't remember.
Rubik's actually got a tree throw right now. Has 4 attacks on the tree grab, so increased range. Increased splash damage, not bad. Top, Timber in some trouble. Slither Crush. And the Timber chain, but not looking like he's likely to get out of here. The Bash comes in, and one more shot from Beyond. It's 2-0 for Blaze. So when do you work with this Spectre who's now got Diffusal?
And he used the... I was going to say quickly, he used the Timber chain when the Bash came out from the Slardar, which is really unfortunate. All the spiders are dead mid.
Oh. Can't be giving him up like that.
I think Radiant are playing this really well. The Tiny especially, I think XHD is having a great game. He's farmed well, but the rotations he's made on the map have meant something. And the Spectre struggled up in top lane against this Slardar Visage, which he should. Because this Visage is just such a strong laner with the amount of damage it can output. It's not like last game. What were they laning against last game? Wasn't it the Prophet and the... It was the Prophet Tiny, right? This Prophet Tiny he was laning against before. It's just such a... There's no kill threat in that lane because this Tiny doesn't do anything in the early levels. So the Spectre can just farm. Whereas this game, the Slardar Visage puts so much more pressure on the lane.
Was it Prophet Tiny?
Yeah, Beyond played the Prophet last game off lane, and then the Tiny was the 4.
Because it was. Oh yeah, it was Lifestealer Witch Doctor. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Like I said, short-term memory not so great. Ice Path down with the
The
macro
tree.
pyre and just like 100 gold right there for the Jakiro as they get the kill now on LWW. 3-0 at the moment. Spectre uses Haunt. They look for the Visage and Chakram just gets him on the pullback.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And that's a significant kill for them. Getting that Visage because it finally puts them on the board and allows them to get this bottom tier 1.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming Tiny Axe is still the same thing.
Under attack.
Yeah, it is. I was like, I couldn't see it on the tooltip anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Back and forth on that Chakram. Spectre going BKB next. So if we're going the Ags at the moment, is that, you know...
Who's going BKB?
Brute.
Brute. I mean, BKB doesn't really stop the physical damage, is the problem I have.
Chronosphere
Chrono.
mid, Macropyre down. They've got themselves the Corrosive Haze. Timber in trouble. You got the Telekinesis. He'll steal Chrono and throw it on the 2. But
then...
what? Well, like, what comes after?
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures
Yeah,
are fortified.
I mean, Rubik Chrono is so always underwhelming, so...
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
But it's the same thing again from as last game. Blaze are having this really good early game, but it's whether they can sustain it going into the mid to late game.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make sure they don't mess up the same way they did last time under the tier 2s. Because they have good ways of defending them with the Haunt, with the Living Armor, with the the constant poke from the Chakram and things on the Timber as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to smoke up here and head up towards the... Are they going Roche? Wow.
Be interesting if they can pull this off.
They have the Corrosive Haze on the Rubik.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so they certainly have this, it seems.
Oh, this is so cute.
That's what
and
I
they know
was saying,
Chrono's
that's-
down as well.
Yeah, that's the big one to have, though. The Corrosive Haze for the Rubik. So, here's my question. Is there armor reduction more with the Arcane Supremacy? Because it's a debuff amplification?
It lasts longer, but the armor duration isn't more.
Or
The
armor
armor reduction isn't more, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not technically spell damage, right? It's like a flat number.
Radiant are scanning.
He steals Time Walk though now. Oh, that's so good, actually, for the Brood.
Time Walk? Or,
All the spiders die mid.
yeah, Macropyre gets the kill. I thought he should have just
Dire's
kept
bottom
Corrosive
tower
Haze,
is
but...
under attack.
It wouldn't have been bad, but I think the Time Walk's really good as well. Because it allows you to get that jump without blink in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, I mean, this Radiant side is still pulling massively ahead. There's a Shadow Blade on the Tiny now as well, so he's going for that Silver Edge up against the Timbersaw. Because he already had the Echo Saber. So it's normally I hate the Silver Edge, but I think it's a much better item this game. Because he's playing against Spectre Timber.
Bottom lane, they get the kill onto the Spectre. They're just
Honestly,
cleaning up on Radiant side.
I can't praise XHD enough this game, I don't think. All his rotations have done something. Which I think is rare to see. Like every
Dire's
single
bottom tower is
rotation
under
work.
attack.
Yeah.
And they can take towers so quickly now because he actually hits quickly himself. with the Tiny.
I haven't really felt the effect of this Brood.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
No, not at all. Well, he's trying to take the mid tier 1 now.
He might. Glyph comes in, Avalanche,
Oh
as
my
well
God.
as a swing. Just all those Spiderlings. Telekinesis is out, steals the Corrosive Haze. So puts it on the Sardar. I'm not certain you still want to go in. Spectre uses Haunt, and
bot lane.
I think that's maybe more so just to get away? I don't...
And he was probably going to die there to the Visage and the Jakiri.
Wow.
Yeah, they tip him because they're like, well, you used Haunt for nothing. Well done.
So
I mean, this
chooses to steal Guardian Sprint. Like, is that worth it? Spectre's just dead anyway. Like,
this
it's
time again,
so good.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Again, the tiny rotation just nets in another kill. And now he has Silver Edge. I don't think there's anybody on the map that survives. Maybe the Timber if he gets his hood active off before.
We'll say I do wish we had Lareth where we could tell how many Spiderlings have, like,
Yeah.
how much gold is being given away. Because I'll be honest, it truthfully doesn't feel like this Brood has had any effectiveness except giving gold away. Toss stolen, but Rubik already
my
dead.
God.
XHD will just TP out, so will the Visage. And now Void has surpassed the Brood. Like, Brood has, what, gone all this time just farming, going for a BKB. You're down 6,000 net worth, and, I mean, what do you have to show for it? A 0, 0, and 0, 231 last hits.
I personally don't think Brood's the massive problem this game. I think the fact that Tiny's done so well, but I also think this Timber Saw has been so underwhelming. He wants to pressure towers early on, but he has nobody else to play with because the Brood doesn't rotate around the map very well, and the Spectre was so underfarmed. So the Timber has nobody to play off in these early engagements, and he's kind of... He feels so useless, and Tiny's going to go in on the Spectre here.
Dire's structures are fortified.
It's just dead. 100 to 0.
Can they even get this Tiny? Do they have Dust?
Oh my God.
How many teams are we going to just watch not have
He's going to go on
Dust?
the Rubik. Watch.
Yeah, Rubik's
Radiant's
dead.
middle tower is under attack.
I don't... So, if you're going to go for the Tiny, you know he has this Silver Edge. Why are you not carrying
What an
Dust? Ice
oh.
Path onto 2. Dual Breath comes in. Overgrowth is out, but the Brood
the hammer
doesn't
gets
do enough.
cancelled.
And yeah, there's the Chronosphere. Your BKB is basically for nothing now, as you're getting bashed up, and all you can do with that BKB is run. I wouldn't even be surprised if Aries are the one who called the game early.
I think they'll give it one more fight because they know Chrono's down now.
Dire's
But,
middle tower is
yeah,
under
this
attack.
Tiny's out of control.
Very.
Please build Ags, Tiny. It's so good. Actually, I don't even know if it's amazing. It's hilarious to watch. That's the main reason. Imagine going BKB in 2020. Jesus.
Dire's bottom
Imagine
tower
trying
is
that
under
hard.
attack.
God.
Tiny has more last hits than this Brood.
Oh, did he not go drums in the end? He didn't. Oh. He just went straight into the Echo Saber, huh? Oh, Brood. Careful. Tony sees him, like, skirting across the map. We haven't even talked about K11 this game, by the way, on the Void. Just been AFK farming, like, the majority of the game. He's 0-0-3.
Yeah.
He hasn't even needed to join most of the fights. Like, whenever he's had Chrono, he's tried to get involved. But they haven't touched the Void the whole game on Aster Aries.
So you have Aegis expired, like Brood,
Dire's top
BKB,
tower
now
is under
9
attack.
seconds. Nothing really to show for that 10-second BKB. I don't know if he could do anything about this tier 2 going down. Chronosphere is actually up to 38. Overgrowth gets used. Meteor Hammer coming in. And they at least kill the Tiny. Telekinesis. Now the Spectre uses Haunt. They get the Tiny. Now they look over at the Faceless Void. He'll time walk away, but he is in some trouble. The BKB's been popped here by the Broodmother. Manta, great Ice Path. Nature's Grasp up in 3. They're continuing to give chase. They've got Rigo moving forward. Telekinesis in 4. Time walk away. They'll go after the Jakiro. They'll get the kill here on the Kaz. Would have really liked to kill on a K11. That's a good fight for them, though. It's something.
Yeah, it's a good fight, but I think the fact the Void survives is really sad. You saw the tree there trying to stalk him at the end of the fight to see if they could get the +1. But there was just nobody within range. They don't have the catch. And that was the fight without the Chronosphere. So, now that it's back up again, I don't see it going that well next time. He's got Manta Diffusal on the Void as well, so Spectre's going to lose all his mana. The Timber Sword would lose all his mana in the Chrono as well.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Oh, Spectre.
Was that his
the Manta?
Oh, God.
Boy. It's not good. Very not good, that's for sure.
Dire are scanning.
They missed the dust on the tree.
Don't move. If I don't move, they can't see me.
If I close my eyes, they can't see me.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Slow it down. Roche up in 27 seconds. Like, Radiant can, you know, control the area. Prioritize this next Aegis.
There's no rush for them here. They can just keep building their lead if they like on the Radiant side. And they take Roche so quickly, right, with the Corrosive Haze on the ladder.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's whatever. They have Greaves on the Visage as well. He's going back for Medallion now. Oh yeah, okay. I was going to say, I think that's better than Vlad's.
So let's see how quickly they get this. If it's going to be contested at all, it doesn't look like it's going to be contested. So Aegis should be in the hands of Blaze. She's picked up by the Tiny, and Daedalus next has like an Arcane Rune ready to go. This fight's going to be very difficult. We saw some success from Master Aries. Question is, you know, can they keep it up?
Dire's top tower has fallen. Bottom tower is under attack.
That's the sound of doubt, I think.
Yeah. X for doubt. The Manta's back up now on the Spectre though. His career's back alive, so if he gets that one out, at least he can be a little bit stronger with the Haunts. He can jump in the back line, try and pop the Manta and kill somebody quickly with the Desolate damage. And he's got Blade Mail queued up now, Jesus. That's the South Spectre, huh?
Really has not been a fun Spectre game. Under-farmed and below the Visage by 1,000 gold. One good fight, though, can turn that all around. Now the Ags is there for the Broodmother. Steals Time Walk.
I don't know where their damage is going to come from, though. It's my problem. Because the Spectres doesn't do enough damage right now. And Brood with the Ags, yes, it's a nice item, but it's not a damage item.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm just going to take this final tier 2, or try to.
There's a Crystallis now on Tiny as well.
Radiant
Yeah, he's building towards that Daedalus. He's, you know, 800 gold away from the Demon Edge, 1800 gold from finishing off the Daedalus. He's farming really well. He's farming better than this Brood. Again, CS 350 to the Brood's 330, so still keeping a pace above the Brood. Brood going Abyssal.
Top lane.
Chrono. Spectre caught again. And can he get out of this? No. Just nothing he can do in that situation.
Void's going to have MKB soon as well. And if you look at the net worth lead over the last few minutes as well, it's just increasing and increasing.
Mm-hmm.
They had that flatline period where they lost that fight up in the top lane, but they've gone instantly back on track to what they were doing before.
This has not been fun for the side of Aster Aries. It seems like they're corralled. It seems like they can't really get away with doing anything. Like, I don't know where their answers lie. That's for sure.
Unsure myself.
Like, Brood's gonna have 20 in a second, so maybe the spider damage can do more, but the spiders just get cleaned up immediately.
Yeah, I mean, the Tiny just melts through everybody at the moment. Look at that. The Tim is always getting, like, one shot.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Ice Path's really well played. Survives for now. Timber chains some distance. K11's Courier goes down. They get the kill there on a Kaz. They lose the Timber, though, and now Slardar on the run. Spectre looking for more. Meteor Hammer? Okay, on the 2. Got the damage onto the Visage, but there's the soul assumption. They'll lose the Spectre to the Tiny, and now looking for this Broodmother. Beyond continuing forward, so will K11. He's got the Aegis, so Time Walk, Chrono, and 54 won't catch the Broodmother, but a 3 for a Jakiro.
It's so satisfying watching a Spectre get like 3 hit by a Tiny. After seeing that hero getting picked like all the time at the moment. Hell yeah, Spectre, get in the bin.
It looked like the Meteor Hammer was gonna like be the start of something, but
yeah, considering how far behind they are, how that fight went, it was better than I expected. Because if you look at the Visage's net worth, I mean, he's ahead of the Timber and the Spectre.
Void with those Guardian Greaves from the Visage. Time Walk away.
He still has Aegis though up for another few seconds. It's about to disappear here, so they're going to chill out for a little bit. He needs the... He's not going to get the Aegis regen, is he? No.
Brood comes in, has Basher. All of a sudden, Visage taking a lot of damage. Phoenix gets the kill, but they've got the break onto the Timber token. He's the Spectral Dagger coming in. And if they can kill this Tiny, that would be huge. But the BKB's been popped by Beyond as well as this
Chrono.
Tiny, good Chrono on it too. But he just bails
what?
from it. Overgrowth comes in. They're still looking at the Tiny. No longer is the BKB. The
hammer.
Hammer slams down on both the Sword as well as the Tiny. They've got the toss stolen. They'll get the kill there. They look over at Beyond. They've lost the Spectre, the Brood, and the Timber for this.
Yeah, but they killed 3 cores of the Radiant side because Visage is a core.
Technically, with his gold.
But again, the Void survived. If they get the Void there, I think it's worth it.
Technically, I mean, they won that fight in terms of gold.
Yeah, I mean, they were because they're so far behind, right? But it wasn't a massive change because a lot of the XP does... Oh, hang on. The tree's in...
The tree's just getting played by familiars right now. And he might... Yeah, okay. He might just die here. Telekinesis onto the Jakiro. That'll keep LWW alive.
The familiar's still so bad against living armor. They're like tickling his back while he's trying to run away. Please help us do damage. Yeah, if the Void has the Aegis regen there, I think the fight goes a lot better. But he starts the fight really low HP already. So he can't really just commit to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think his career has MKB on it as well, which is... Or has he gone Satanic instead of MKB? Or does he have both? I have no idea. Let's see what's on his career. Yeah, okay, so he has MKB and the Reaver. Fair enough. I was like, did he just get a Demon Edge and then just decide to go Satanic instead? No, he's just really farmed. Why does this Tiny not want to build Axe? I'm so disappointed. My disappointment is immeasurable. Mid.
Mid. Magpire down. Phoenix dead.
He's just gone.
Overgrowth Meteor Hammer, but it just doesn't feel like it, you know. They're losing so many heroes.
They've literally, with the Brood being dead, they're 40,000 net worth behind.
And they're gonna, wow. Okay.
He is like so much of their team's net worth, and he has no buyback either. With the tree not having living armor, I think they might call it here.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
They've got the repair kit, but I don't think it should matter.
You've got no Brood for 50. Like, what are you even gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know. And they can just go top as well afterwards as well, because there's no tier 2 to keep that top set of racks alive. Fair play to us, Aries, though, for trying to stick it out. Never against it.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Yeah, they're gonna quit.
Dire's
They know.
is under attack.
They know. We knew. Game 3, never in doubt.
Nomad's gonna be so happy that we get a game 3 again.